yeah, welcome into Views from the Stands on a Friday night. Let's kind of have some fun. It's a Friday. Everybody's feeling a little bit looser, and I do apologize. It was my fault. Computer's having some issues. We did start 5 minutes later. For anybody checking in at home, because I know you guys are dying so much that 5 minutes killed everybody but me, you know? So anyway, I was freaking out there for a second. Sorry about that, fellas. Anyways, man, we have the BC in the building, and we have Mr. G Mike, and we are going to have a fun-filled show for you tonight. We have a special guest in the house tonight as well, so we're going to have a lot of fun with that one. So let's go ahead and just jump straight into this because we're already behind about 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and introduce our newest guest to the show.
Special guest Views from the Stands.
All right, man. Ryan, welcome to the show, host of your own podcast, man. We give you the floor. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my friend.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. I love talking sports with you knuckleheads, so I'm looking forward to this one. I'm Ryan Rostad. Everybody thinks my last name is Roasted, so I host a horror podcast, movie review podcast called The Roasted Snow Horror Show. We're pretty new. We've only been doing this just about 3 months now. We're having a hell of a lot of fun doing it. We talk releases every Friday, and on every Wednesday we do kind of specialty episodes. We'll have guests on, special effects artists, actors, stuff like that. So yeah, check us out. Even if you don't like scary movies, we think there's something out there for everybody.
Absolutely, man. I watched some stuff that you guys had going on, and I love your guys' intro video as well. That was pretty cool. You have your own almost theme song. That was really cool. So shout out to you guys out there, and it was really good to finally get a chance to come on there with you. We tried to set something up a couple weeks ago. It's just, plans and everything got messed up. But having said that, we are here live now, and we are ready to rock and roll. I don't know about you guys, but I am ready to get into some sports. Let's go ahead and hit up some news that we had going on over the last couple of days.
News from the world of sports.
All right, man. Mr. John Lynch coming out making a statement, pretty much saying that I believe, and I'll quote Mr. Lynch here, saying, I think it's safe to say he's played his last snap with the 49ers. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, that is Mr. Brandon Ayuk, who has just been nothing but seems like a problem for the 49ers after that breakout year. G-Mike, my man, this was a major thing because a lot of people are trying to figure out what was going on. What do you think that the Niners do from here, and where do they go from now?
Well, supposedly they're going to try and get Deebo Samuel back. I saw a few rumors that they're trying to get that relationship back up and going. Deebo Samuel is going to be a free agent this summer, so he might want to go back to San Fran, be the true number one once again. He was the number one before, then they switched to Ayuk. Now this whole thing happened. He didn't really play. The relationship got tarnished. Deebo went to Washington. Now he may come back, try to be the number one there. But with just Deebo itself, man, hey, it looks like, I don't know. He looks like he might not play for any other team right now. The way that his attitude is shaping up, I mean, you don't want to tarnish your whole relationship with one organization because then other organizations are going to be like, I don't know, maybe he might do the same for us.
No, I'm with you, man, for sure. And I have to admit, I thought Brandon Ayuk was going to be a lot better at what happened with everything that happened in their process. They were about to sign him, give him a big contract and everything, and then this just fell apart. He's been injured, and it's been nothing but nightmares, it seems like, for the 49ers and Brandon Ayuk ever since that happened on there. And we got to give a shout-out as well. Already got people checking in. Mr. Ryan, you got some fans out there already, man. Go Broncos. We'll be definitely getting into that as well, so thank you for checking in. BC, what would you do if you're the 49ers? What would you do if you're Ayuk, man? You have I don't think he's going to have much of a room to say where he's going to go.
He's really not. And like you said, we already covered it. He's hurt. He's got an attitude issue. He's already commanded a huge salary in the past. I don't know how much he's going to be willing to go down. If you're Ayuk, you already didn't play in 2025. You had ACL surgery in 2024. You kind of don't really have a leg to stand on as far as finding somebody. I mean, I'm sure that there's somebody that would be willing to take a flyer on him, maybe a 1-year prove-it deal, but that's kind of it. Unless you're a poverty franchise that's in need of some kind of star for lack of a better word, somebody that can bring some relevancy to your franchise. I don't really see a lot of options for Ayuk at this point, unless he's willing to take a pay cut and prove that he's still got it and can be that number one option.
Right. It's a big deal, man. You mean hell, would the Broncos be willing to take him out there or what, man? I don't know. What do you guys got?
I don't. Yeah, I'm sure he and Sean Payton will get along just fine. I'm sure that'll work out. No, I mean, he, like you guys said, he's had issues for a while. Doesn't really see eye to eye with management. It doesn't seem. And just how refreshing is it that you have a GM like John Lynch that just comes out and says it? He doesn't walk around the question like, oh, we'll just have a conversation about it, and you'll know when we know. No, he's done. So I appreciated that. And I think didn't Ayuk even hold out for quite a bit to get that contract? I mean, he was already an issue prior to the contract. You lose Debo because of it, and the 49ers, they're cursed one way or another. You either get C-Max out or C-Max healthy and everybody else is out. So the fact that they were able to keep chugging is pretty incredible, actually. But no Ayuk here, please, no.
And I will say, John Lynch, like, for anybody that's surprised, like you said, it's refreshing to see GMs that have that kind of backbone, you could say. But if anybody that's grew up around football that knows John Lynch, like he's no nonsense, one of the hardest hitting, most feared players to ever play the game. So it's like, to have that as your GM, like, you're sitting good if you're ownership and management.
Yeah, no, and what's wild about Ayuk is I still think that he does have the talent there. So somebody will make a move to go get him that's desperate for a wide receiver. And I think you're kind of right. They're going to have to restructure contracts. There's going to be a lot that's going to go into it, but somebody will take a chance on him because he has that talent. I mean, the Patriots have been rumored to go after him for quite a while, even last year before like all the injuries and all that stuff. So maybe someone that's actually ready to win, and maybe a new culture change will maybe change it up a little bit for Ayuk, because it has been a problem. At one point in time, he was the darling of the team and the star, and broke out. And then after that point, it just seems like it's been nothing but trouble for them. So, Mike, you got any ideas on where you think he might be able to go?
I mean, it would be a team that really needs a receiver, and the number one team that comes to mind is the LA Chargers. I mean, they don't have a true number one. Landon McConkey, don't get me wrong, I like him. I like his game, but I see him as a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, behind Johnston as well. Keenan Allen, freaking legend, but dude is old. He's getting slower. His hands aren't the same. You saw in that playoff game, he dropped 3 balls. Unless he's betting, unless he's gambling. But I don't know. I think they need a true wide receiver 1, man. Pittsburgh is looking for another receiver as well. DK Metcalf needs some help over there. There's several teams that can use his talents for sure, but it's all about his attitude and his mindset, because if he does this to one franchise, again, he could do it to another.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, you got any thoughts where you'd like to see him go, or where you have any ideas where like maybe he might end up?
Well, I mean, you guys said it. It's going to be a poverty franchise. I don't see, unless it drags out until near the trade deadline next year, where a contender is truly desperate and they're like, hey, we need somebody in here. I don't know. My mind just always goes to Cleveland for whatever reason. I just think that they're always going to pick up somebody, that whether it makes sense or not. I can see the Chargers as well. I also thought maybe Miami. Maybe Tyreek leaves and then maybe he goes to Miami. That could be an option.
Yeah, I think Tyreek's been dropping little hints about going out to LA as well too, with the Chargers, with the cryptic tweets that he always has every other week or something. So yeah, that is a pretty interesting spot for him out there. I mean, what could go wrong, Brandon Ayuk in Cleveland? It's not like they've never not had anything negative happen with Cleveland, right? That's a total Cleveland pickup right there, right?
Yep, you don't have to look far with them. So
they need to figure out that QB situation and the head coach situation still, man.
You'll never get that figured out, man. The day they figure that out, the day hell freezes over. So
damn, George getting some love out there, man. You're looking like a snack.
Appreciate it. I got a haircut. You feel me?
Woo,
nice,
man.
Good. It's Friday, baby.
Looking right. Looking like you're like a video editor for the Miami Heat over there or something, man. I like it.
Oh, shoot. Future coach. Sign him.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so that was not the only big news coming out of there, out of the sports world that the last couple of days. But we're gonna go ahead and jump in because it's getting almost close to that baseball time. So we're gonna go and jump into our segment of Brandon's bullpen because he's got some news.
America's pastime from Brandon's bullpen.
All right, big guy. You're a big Tampa Bay Rays fan. Why don't you explain to the people what's going on with Tampa Bay and all the insider news you got too, or something, man?
Well, I mean, for the last, Gosh, it seems like since 2008, there's been stadium drama with the Rays, with Tropicana Field, especially like kind of buyer's remorse for the last 20 years. It seems like the Rays have been trying to find some way to get out of the Trop, get out of that dome from the 80s. That it looks like an empty warehouse inside. If I'm being honest, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love my dome baseball. I love being able to go inside at 72 degrees. That's nice. I do believe and hope and pray that the new stadium has that kind of a feature, but it's just time for them to move shop. And so the last 5 years, there's been a lot of drama as to where will they go, what will they do, because the lease is up in about 2 years. Are they going to do a split city plan with Montreal? Are they just going to sell the team and move to Nashville or even go up the road to Orlando? 2023, they started getting some actual grounds to stay in the Tampa Bay area, although on the Pinellas County side in St. Pete, basically just in the parking lot of the old Trop. I was not the biggest fan of it just because it's not the most central located in the location for the Tampa Bay area. And I've always been a proponent of the Tampa scene. And then about 2 years ago now, Hurricane Milton came in, destroyed the Trop, kind of ruined a lot of chances to I would say kind of keep the team in St. Pete. Talks kind of fell apart with Stu Sternberg, ownership group, and the rest of the team. And just pretty much there's just been this drama of will they stay, will they go? And it finally came to a head after after Sternberg sold the team. Ownership now is brought up by Patrick Zalewski, and then Ken Babby is the CEO now. And within just a few months of them taking over, now we have people were wondering how long is it going to take for them to start getting talks going for a new stadium. And here we go. The first, obviously, this is just talks right now, but they've already engaged with Hillsborough Community College, which, for those that don't know, is located right across the street from Raymond James Stadium and also right near Steinbrenner Field, where the Rays played in 2025. There was a unanimous vote to go ahead and approve talking between both the Rays and Hillsborough Community College to kind of figure out what to do with the 113-acre site that encompasses that whole campus. And a lot of people are feeling positive about it. I'm very excited. I think that, there are some people that don't think that moving right next door to the Buccaneers is a good idea. There's competing interests. I disagree. I think that if you can somehow combine the Raymond James Stadium, maybe even kick the Yankees out of Steinbrenner. All offense intended, G-Mike. Hey, you had your time.
Relax.
You guys had your. We'll share it. We'll share it, but we get priority rights because it's Tampa. But a lot of people are kind of wondering how's it going to work. I think it will work really well. I think this ownership group has already shown so much initiative in getting stuff done. They don't want to waste time. They don't want to mince words. They don't want to get into politics and stuff like that. They just want to say, look, we want to build a ballpark here. We want to make this happen. We'll work with whatever we can to make it work. And I think that, it's going to be, I think, a great thing for the Tampa area, especially because, again, with what the Lightning did in Channelside and downtown Tampa and what the Bucks have done in the north side in Dale Mabry, I think combining the Rays there with this new stadium,
You're talking about Ybor City, right?
No. This is going to be in Dale Mabry as well, like right across the street from the Bucks.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're literally like right next to each other. So people were like, how are they going to make it work with the overlap? I think it's fine because you can share parking lots, you can share amenities, you can build multiple mixed-use neighborhoods, kind of like what you have with the Battery in Atlanta. I think it's going to work big time, and I think that, again, it's centrally located in the Tampa area. People from St. Pete will come, people from Clearwater, people from even, I think, as far as Orlando, Lakeland. It's a good move, and I think it's the right thing to keep the Rays in Tampa Bay long-term, not just a short-term fix.
Well, having said that, we had someone checking in and asking as well. I think it's a pretty valid question here. The Rays have always had a good team, but do you think their fans are going to show up in a new stadium? And it's a pretty valid question, really.
Yeah, I think if they decide to make it maybe instead of 35,000 seat stadium, if they go for like 25, make it a little bit more intimate, maybe a little smaller but easier to fill out. I don't see how they wouldn't have at least double maybe not double, but they would at least have close to sellout numbers, kind of like what they had at Steinbrenner Field. I know it's pretty easy to sell out, a 10,000 seat minor league ballpark, but
Yeah, that's only minor league though too. You could be doing that in major leagues, man. Like that ain't gonna work for major leagues.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is that the location I think is what matters, and I do think that making it more accessible to the entire area and not adding 30 minutes extra going over the bridge, getting through downtown St. Pete traffic, I think that definitely alleviates a lot of the issues, especially for the majority of the crowds, which lie on the Hillsborough side of the bay.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of teams that's had some pretty loyal fans, even though they've been up and down or something like that. Ryan, I mean, you're a Colorado guy. I mean, the Rockies have been interesting to say the least for the last few years or something like that. I mean, do you think? I mean, they're almost kind of like the Rays in the situation of they are a decent team, but just can't ever get the fans, or are they people just show up more for them? What's your thoughts on this one?
Well, so it's interesting because there's a nice parallel here because Tampa has a team but no stadium. Colorado has a beautiful stadium and no team. So,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something that we could work out there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing here. The business model for the Rockies has never been about winning. It's been, hey, everybody will go down to Coors Field. It's, it's one of the oldest ballparks in the league now. I know obviously Wrigley and Fenway, but I mean, it was built in 95 and, they update it just enough. It's a great ballpark, great place to go. They took out half the third deck like a decade ago and put this big, party bar up there.
Speaking of what Mike's saying, it's just basically a big bar with a baseball team attached.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. And that's what people do. I mean, I've gone to games there. Obviously, if they're making a playoff push, which is very rare, then obviously you get some of the diehards in there. But most it's just to go hang out downtown and have a beer, sit outside.
Yeah.
And it's not really looking up anytime soon. So I would much rather have the Rays. So maybe they could be the Denver Rays. Maybe we just help each other out. I don't know.
It
doesn't make any sense. But
I mean, if you guys want to offload and make some extra money, like we'll take Coors Field off your hands. Like I love the mountain wooded area that's out in center field. Like that's gorgeous. Like I love that area. And I think honestly, like the new stadium needs to have some homages like that. Just some stuff that, like you said, even if you're not winning baseball games, people still want to be there. People still want to show up. Again, like with what Jeff Vinnick did with the Lightning in downtown Tampa. It's even if the Bolts don't win every night, it's such a fun atmosphere. It's vibrant. It's lively. People want to go and just be a part of it, even on a weekday. So, I think the winning is just still going to continue. Ownership's not really changing too much there. But what I think is that if they can add a little bit more of an atmosphere to the games, they can make that the place to be in Tampa, even on weekdays. I think you're going to see more payroll jump. And I think then that winning is going to be much more sustainable over time because you'll be able to sign your players long-term as opposed to trading them right before they're about to peak.
So when it comes to cities like that, right? Tampa, Miami over here. I don't know how it is in Colorado, but LA, New York, right? When you got, obviously New York is completely different because the New York Yankees are just the limelight of basically the city and everybody wants to go to those games. But with these big time cities and you got these baseball games in this example that you're not getting a lot of attendance to, it's tough to do that when you're in a city that there's a lot to do, right? You compare it to the Oklahoma City Thunder. A lot of people don't have a lot of stuff to do in Oklahoma City. So what are they going to do? They're going to go out to the game. But down here in Miami, a lot of people really, what's big over here is the Miami Dolphins. Sundays, that stadium is going to be packed no matter if they suck, no matter if they're good. But when it comes to the Marlins, you can literally buy the top dollar ticket, like nosebleeds, which come out to like $3, and you could scoot your butt all the way to the bottom and no one would tell the difference because it's
the Marlins might even pay you to play.
Literally, they pay you to show up. That's what it should be.
Well, and I will ask though, how much of that though too do you think is because of the atmosphere, or do you think just overall how the team has been run? Because I know they've got 2 World Series championships, which is great, but in between that, there's just so much losing, and there's just so much, lack of success, in between those championships, and then far after in 2020 or not 2023, 2003. So it does make you kind of wonder, but I don't know. I want to be optimistic about it, but I will say not to not to kind of have all the rose-colored glasses on, but I will say there is some people wondering with the new stadium coming in. The Bucks have been kind of putting out for renovations for Raymond James Stadium. I've heard that they might do a canopy thing just like Hard Rock does, which that would be pretty dope. I would like that. But it does make you wonder, how the relationship between the Bucks and the Rays is going to develop now that the Rays are looking to move in just right across the street.
Is that
Yeah,
why wouldn't they just play where the Bucks play? If you're not getting so much attendance, like that's what the Miami Marlins before the Florida Marlins, they used to play in the Orange Bowl, and it's like why would you make another stadium if you're not going to have so much attendance? Might as well just ask Tampa Bay Buccaneers, give them a percentage off of it, and have the stadium there.
I think because the way Miami State or Hard Rock Stadium was before the Marlins left, there was a lot more space to be able to kind of like makeshift the field into a baseball field. Whereas the Bucks, it's pretty much like locked in. Like I think when the Savannah Bananas played baseball there, like you could tell. Like I think right field was maybe 200 feet, 250 at the most. So that's gonna really. Yeah, I think for MLB you have to have at least like 310 or 315 as like your minimum for your foul pole. So I would love that, honestly. That'd be nice, but I think because of that, that's the main reason why they can't get a dual use stadium out of it. And Ray J wasn't designed for a multi-purpose stadium anyway, unfortunately.
Well, and I always loved when football season starts, the preseason games, like up to week 4 or something, and you'd have half the field as the infield, and you're you're getting a first down at second base. I always thought that was fun.
You get to steal home at the same time.
I was gonna say, like the last, I think, dual purpose stadium that was still being used for the longest
Oakland.
time. Yep, and that's
Oakland. Yeah,
yep, landmark right there, man.
And, is it gonna be now? Is Las Vegas, because I know the Athletics are going to Vegas now, but are they going to have their own stadium?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they are, because again, what is it? Allegiant is basically just basically a single-use stadium as far as for sporting events. So
yeah, and it's a dome. So and the dome's not even like, it's not like circular like that. It's a dome like flat.
Yeah, it's really it's one of those like. It's like a postmodern art masterpiece.
It almost looks like the Death Star, man.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the modern postmodern stadiums are looking like that now. So
yeah, the evil empire wins again. What do you know?
Yeah. Oh.
Anyways, man, we're gonna have definitely a little bit.
Try it, Anakin.
Baseball, with baseball coming up in the season coming up very soon, we'll be definitely getting into more of it. But there was some big news coming out of here, Mr. BC. The Hall of Fame class of 2026. All these amazing players, and 2 people made it.
Why is it that only 2 people made it?
Because baseball writers are dicks. That's why, man.
Because they have probably the strictest like voting group in all of professional sports. 75% of the people have to vote you in, and it's insane. There's still guys, Andy Pettitte, Felix Hernandez, Alex Rodriguez, Manny Ramirez, like all of those guys still have not even cracked 50% of the vote yet. So
my boy Pedroia almost got in this year. I think he'll maybe like in like 3 years or so, something like that, maybe.
He was at 20%. You got a ways to go.
No, I thought he was a lot higher than that.
No, 20.7. He got 88 votes out of the, I believe.
Oh, that's what I was looking at. Never mind. I saw the 88, and I was thinking it was 88%. I'm like, oh, cool. He's right around the corner.
Yeah. If he would have gotten the 88, he'd have been in this year. So like that would have been big. But I mean, I think it's a good thing though that they are strict with it, because how many times have you seen like in Hall of Fame you get some head scratchers like, really, him?
Yeah, but bro, you're talking about. I think Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones, I think they definitely deserve it. They should be in. But we're talking about Chase Utley, Andy Pettitte, Felix Hernandez, Alex Rodriguez, Manny Ramirez, Bobby Abreu, and obviously more. But those 8 right there, you're going to tell me that they're not Hall of Famers? I don't know.
I will say, I know with like Pettitte and Rodriguez and Ramirez, those guys will unfortunately just forever be hampered by the steroid era. Like that's just something. Do I agree with it or not? I mean, they use performance enhancing drugs, but it takes skill to hit a ball. It takes skill frame a pitch right where you need it to be. So it's one of those where you either include everybody or you include nobody. And that's a talk for another
let
time.
them take it, man. Let them take it, man. Let the game be fun.
Well, I mean, I will say there's nothing
What do you
quite
think,
like
Ryan?
seeing
What do you
500
think, Ryan?
foot
Well,
home run.
Well, I mean, in the steroid era, I mean, you had McGuire versus Sosa. I mean, that was when, how many baseball fans were born during that stretch? I mean, it was must-see TV near the end of that. It was, you'd cut into everything. I don't remember how old I was, but I remember seeing Mark McGuire hit that home run, and I was a Sosa guy. So I was like, oh, man, he got that before Sosa. And then it's, my point on it is if, let's say 75% of the league was doing some sort of performance enhancing, then it still is a relatively even playing field. Like you said, it's hard to hit a ball. You give me all the performance enhancers you want, I'm not hitting a fastball in the majors. It's just not happening. So and I go back and forth on the strictness of the Hall of Fame, especially for baseball. I've never been like crazy about the idea that writers decide these. I've always thought it should be more the peers than the writers themselves. A lot of them take it seriously, but there's some like, if you live on the West Coast, maybe you got that bias. If you're on the East Coast, you got that bias. Right. There's a lot of writers out there that just don't. They have their agenda and they're going to stick to it, and that keeps some guys out.
Yeah, I mean, ergo, King Griffey Jr. didn't get unanimous. There was one guy, had to be the one guy that doesn't. So
which that to me, I don't understand. So
this does bring up a great question here. Beltran did not. Why did he get docked for the cheating Houston Astros scandal? So the way I understood it was that he was supposed to have gotten in prior to this point. Like it was like that was like the little dock, if you will, was that his time.
That was literally his last year, and he didn't really do much then. So like his. I was gonna say like his peak years were with the Mets. They were with the Cardinals, because he, that aside, like dude won like multiple Gold Gloves, multiple Silver Sluggers, 9-time All-Star, and his last All-Star appearance 2016, so the year before he went to the Astros and all that stuff happened. He already had a Hall of Fame resume before all that, so one of the best outfielders in all of baseball in terms of every single year consistently being a great hitter, being pretty much a 5-tool player in baseball. You could hit for contact, hit for power. He could steal, he could throw, he could field, everything. And that's evidence right there. Plus, dude had a cannon for an arm. One of like the best arms in the outfield. Not to be the only one that you could really say in recent memory that had a better arm is the guy that got in along with him, Andrew Jones. 10 Gold Gloves, tied for the third most all time, and just. Again, let me go ahead and pull up the club that the elite company that homeboy is in right here. Willie Mays, Roberto Clemente, Al Kaline, Ichiro Suzuki, Ken Griffey Jr. How do those guys are all 10+ Gold Glovers in the outfield? That's an elite list. The greatest defensive outfielder, I would say, the greatest defensive center fielder of the last 20 years. Like, dude could make some highlight reel catches. Dude could make some cannon throws from center field. He was not afraid of anything out there, and I think his selection in the Hall of Fame is rightfully so.
I agree. Ryan, you got anything for that one?
No, I think like you guys said, the two that got in deserve to be there, and have no issues with that. Would like to see. I'm not saying throw 10 people in there a year, but maybe the 3-4 range. I mean, keep a few more happy and start working down that list a little bit. It's other sports they obviously do more. They do like here's a contributor Hall of Fame entry. Here's a coach gets in, a broadcaster gets in, all that. So it's 2 people. We just got to live with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, in my opinion, I think the NBA is the most generous for getting in the Hall of Fame. I think pretty much if you stepped on the court, you have like a 50-50 chance of getting in. So, I mean, I can understand how some sports are a little bit too much, and I think the NBA is a little bit too light. So maybe just take a page out of the NFL. Honestly, none of us are big hockey guys here, and I know you are actually. What is like the hockey? What is their standards when getting in the Hall of Fame?
So they usually, it's. they usually put in, I want to say it's like 4 or 5 players, and then they have a like a community contributor award, or it usually goes to a broadcaster or somebody that's been involved in the NHL for a long time. Then coaches can get in here and there, but again, it's the writers. I'm not sure the exact format that they use, if there's a percentage that has to get in or what, but I know that there are a lot fewer NHL players that are snubbed than obviously in baseball. There's never usually that huge debate, and usually if there is, that guy tends to be in the next year or two, and then it's not.
Yeah, I noticed that. You don't really hear too many people complaining about, oh, this guy got in or that guy got in and with the NHL really or something. But Ryan, you're getting some love tonight, my man. You're getting a lot of shout outs out here, so we appreciate everybody for watching and checking in as well. So we really appreciate that one, man. Yeah,
well, that's John. He's a Flyers fan, and the Avs play the Flyers tonight. So you can delete that.
It's more of a yeah, man. We're gonna have you come on some more here, because you're gonna school us on some hockey, man. Because none of us are hockey guys at all, which is ironic as well, because Florida and Tampa Bay have become like the mecca of winning Stanley Cups right now, and none of us.
Like 4 out of the last 6. It's insane. Yeah. Tampa, they, obviously the Avs played them, and that was their 3rd year in a row, and that was a hell of a Stanley Cup final. And then,
bitter about that.
Sorry. But then Florida, goes to 3 straight. And even the year before, when it was Tampa, Colorado, they won the President's Trophy. So it's just, I love seeing it do well in Tampa. I feel like the NHL is trying to get out of the markets that didn't work. They got away from Arizona, went to Utah. Utah's getting the Winter Classic next year. So seems to be going okay in that sense. I just don't want them to force it too much. I think, Florida, it's because it took a while to get there, because the Panthers, they had a good, 3rd year. And then they were, they were in the cellar for decades.
Many years.
Yeah. And then the Lightning, they've been obviously more competitive consistently. So that was a little better. But I mean, it's California teams, they've had success, in places, you don't necessarily have to have snow to play hockey. It's great.
I will say though too, like with the stadium series that's coming to Tampa in about a week or so, man, that's gonna be a fun game for sure. You got Boston in town though too. Like I was looking at the temperature for that day. It's the coldest I think it's gonna be this year, like in the Bay Area. So it's like perfect timing. I love it.
And I mean, if you get a chance to go to an outdoor game, they're a lot of fun. Obviously, it's a little different when coming here in Colorado, because you're freezing your butt off. Hopefully it's not. I know it's the coldest night there, but hopefully it's still kind of enjoyable.
We'll be freezing here regardless. Like we freeze at what 50 degrees, maybe 55. That's when we have like three or 4 layers on at that point. So
oh man, there you go. That's a heat wave for me. So.
Dude, it's funny. You should see it in Florida with like people, if it gets below probably like 60, maybe or something like that, people are busting out Uggs and parkas and stuff like it. Like, dude, it's really not that bad, right? Are you one of them?
Yep. Get the big jacket, the big flappy jacket. I feel like I'm in NYC. Got my Timberlands on. You feel me?
I think it's mainly just because you don't get used to wear it all the time.
I was in St. Augustine this past weekend, and I had to wear gloves. It was like 40 degrees at night. I'm there sleeping in the tent, dying.
Dude, at work, everyone's like wearing like pants and like 2 or 3 coats or whatever, and I show up in like shorts and short sleeves, and then just wearing a beanie. They're like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Just want the cold. I love it."
He's there shivering like, "Yeah,
not even. I'm just like, good week."
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and jump from the weather back to this thing we call sports here, man. And we're going to go ahead and jump into some awards right now, man. It's going to be football season is coming to an end. Obviously, we all know that, but it's time to start talking about these awards that we have going right here. So we're going to go ahead and go through and give our picks on who we think deserves it, and give an explanation on why. We're going to go ahead and start with the top of these guys here with the head coach. The head coach of the year this year, we got Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, Mike McDonald, Kyle Shanahan, and Mike Vrabel. BC, buddy, you're up first. Who are you going to pick and why?
I would say this is probably the toughest decision, just because you've got at least 4 of the 5 candidates here that deserve this. I mean, the case for Cohen's so simple. The Jaguars were laughingstocks last year. Everyone was dogging them. This year, they thought they were going to suck, and then he turns them into a 13-win team and running the AFC South. Like, complete turnaround right there. His system revolutionized them. Ben Johnson.
Whoa. Running the entire AFC South. Let's pump the brakes a little bit here.
Hey, dude, I'm sorry, but like
the Colts were up there.
You guys had it
for a little while. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you guys had it, and then you just let it slip big time. And there was like the gap. Yeah, the gap was like this, and then all of a sudden at the end of the year, it went like that, dude.
Who would have thought Daniel Jones would be that important?
Yeah,
Indiana Jones, baby. Indiana Jones.
Seriously.
Part of the season, I was saying I thought he was going to be pretty good, but I didn't expect him to be as good as he was.
Right.
But yeah, Ben Johnson, Mike McDonald in Seattle and in Chicago as well are huge. I'm gonna give it to Mike Vrabel though. I love Cohen and what he did. He would probably maybe the bias, former Bucs guy, but Mike Vrabel, I think just what he was able to do in New England, we all thought that it was going to take them decades to kind of figure it back out again. And especially with their recent coaching hires prior to Vrabel, but he really just stepped in and just unified that team. He didn't come in with necessarily like revolutionary systems and everything like that, X's and O's, but he just brought everybody together and united the team. And I think honestly, that's what being a head coach is all about. Not just specializing in one area or two, but if you can get that whole team around you and just have them run through a brick wall every single game, I think you're deserving a coach of the year.
We have somebody out there as well. Sean Payton got screwed. He was not on the list. Going in, we picked our awards prior to this point, and we gave. I picked Sean Payton as well to be head coach of the year. He didn't make the list on here too, so I thought that was kind of weird too. This one is very hard this year, actually, because I think these guys all did something very interesting. Cohen definitely did his thing with Jacksonville. I don't think anybody really expected Jacksonville to be as good as they were. Ben Johnson, I think everybody had the idea that he was going to be good, especially with the moves that they made. So he actually just did exactly what he was supposed to do, and I think that they're on the right track. Mike McDonald has done phenomenal with the Seattle Seahawks. They have been amazing pretty much all year, only a couple of losses. I think he's done really well. Kyle Shanahan, all the injuries and every single week, they still make the playoffs, and they were just so riddled with injuries, So, and Vrabel, what else can you say? Man, the guy took a team like the Patriots that were in the bottom and 1 year in. I would personally like to pick Kyle Shanahan, but I'm going to go with Mike McDonald. I think that he's done the best out of all of these guys, and just because I think they still have a chance to do it. But all of these guys legit this year really do have a chance at winning, and I think they all can make a very, very fair case. Ryan, you're up, man. What's your pick?
Oh, yeah. I went back and forth on all 5 names about 47 times because, every single one of them. And I don't think you can go back to any other year where it's this tight to get to this point. Obviously you guys touched on Cohen. I mean, Ben Johnson, I remember like the first 2 or 3 weeks, people were laughing their ass off at him because they were so bad offensively. And then obviously they turned it around. Mike McDonald, with the defense there. And then, I don't know what it is about Sam Darnold, but he has figured it out since New York. He has figured it out. I touched on earlier about the 49ers and just how they're always cursed, but they always seem to be there. Going into Seattle on the road, that's a really tough ask. Obviously they get blown out. And as much as it pains me to say, since they are playing in Denver this week, I'm going to give it to Vrabel as well, just because I remember week 1 of the season, and I remember watching that game against the Raiders, saying they're getting beat by the Raiders. Like they are trash. They're going nowhere. And then here we are in 2 days. They're coming into Mile High for the AFC title. So, I love what all these guys have done. Especially in this, a second-year quarterback taking them. Ben Johnson obviously has that as well. We're in a quarterback resurgence with these young guys.
Yeah, man. You guys said it the best. I don't even really have to say much. Obviously, it's a very tight race. I mean, all of these coaches deserve it, in my opinion. So I just got to go with the stats on this. I got to go with Mike McDonald, man. They're about to enter the NFC Championship. They have one of the best offenses with one of the best defenses compared to all of these other 4 teams on this list. So I got to give it to Seattle's head coach.
I'm in with you as well. We got some disagreeers out there, though. Give it to Vrabel that with the easiest schedule in the NFL. Come on.
That's true. That's true. They only
still
played like
got to beat the guys in front of you, and that's what he's done.
They only had 3 games where they beat an above 500 team. So
what happens?
Like 4 playoff qualifiers.
I'm just gonna say
2 games were Bills.
I'll just say this: they could go all the way and win the Super Bowl this year, and people will still say, "Well, they never beat the Chiefs, or they never played the Chiefs in the playoffs, or the Ravens."
That is true.
Come on, you play to win the game.
Hey, it's just like when the Celtics won the NBA championship a few years back. They had the easiest road to the NBA Finals. The easiest.
So.
All right, so then moving from the head coach on to their counterpart, man. The assistant coach of the year. You got Vic Fangio, Brian Flores, Vance Joseph, Clint Kubiak, and Josh McDaniels. BC, you're up first.
Well, I mean, obviously, we're all here saying F the bird, so we're not going Vic Fangio at all. That collapse was tragic. Gosh, again, once you get past the first 2 candidates in the descending order, it's a tough one for sure because the Patriots offense has been uber efficient this year. Same thing with Seattle, and plus their offense has just been dynamite. So it's like, what do you do there? And then it's the no-fly zone 2.0 up in Denver again. So it's like I don't know as much. Again, my heart wants to pick offense. I love Clint Kubiak. Also, my buddy Michael is a huge Seahawks fan. He would rip me up and down for not picking him. He's already going to rip me up and down for not picking Mike McDonald as the coach of the year. But I'm gonna go with Vance Joseph because the offense has not been very good this year. Bo Nix has. I don't know what's going on with him. I was gonna say, right? You'll have a lot more to say than I. You'll have a lot more to say about it than I will. But just the fact that they have been doing a Herculean carry job, and having the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they're gonna have their hands full with this game with a backup quarterback going in as your starter. I gotta tip it to Vance Joseph. I think he's the assistant coach of the year by far with that no-fly defense again.
Yeah, I would pick Vance Joseph out of this, but I'm going to actually go with what you were talking about before. I'm going to go with Clint. I really like what the Seahawks did this year. I'm going to go Clint Kubiak. And just Sam Darnold's looked great this year. But I think that Vance Joseph 1,000% deserves it if Clint doesn't get it. Ryan, you going against your own squad or what?
Oh no. We know exactly where this is going. I'm never saying a positive thing about Josh McDaniels. So this list has a lot of Denver ties. Obviously Vic Fangio is a coach here. And just here in Denver, we talk about it weekly about the turnaround that Vance Joseph has had, because when he was here, the first couple weeks, everybody was behind him as a head coach, I'm speaking. And then we ran him out of town. He was horrible. He was not a good head coach. He'd always come on every single week, and the running line was, well, we had a great week of practice. We're like, well, we're going to get smoked by 20 this week. That's fun. So then everybody was very concerned when Peyton brought him on. Obviously, he's a defensive guy, so there was some hope there. And then they go to Miami, and I think week 3 and lose 70-20. And I was expecting them to leave Vance in Miami. The fact that he has turned it around since that point, and just seeing, this defense bends but doesn't break. They give up some big chunk plays, and then recently they've been getting some more turnovers, but that's been the one downside is they don't get as many turnovers as the no-fly zone did. So I'm going Vance Joseph as well. I'm also an Oregon guy, so I've been a Bo Nix supporter for a while. And the guys commenting, they'll probably rip me on this because we bring it up in our group chat every single week. But I'm of the belief that Sean Payton has been holding Bo Nix back, and Bo Nix has been able to thrive despite his head coach. So that is my official stance on that. And And we, our episode that we dropped today on my podcast is about 28 years later, the Bone Temple, which I made a joke that I'm going to go into the Bone Temple and find an ankle bone for Bo Nix so that he can play on Sunday. So.
That's crazy that you said that you think that Sean Payton is holding him back, because we had an episode and I actually said that. Like the fact that he doesn't let him gunsling really pisses me off. Dude, they haven't really scored more than 17 points. I think it was halfway the season. I think it was like week 7 From then on, they haven't scored more than 17 points, and the defense has been doing all the work. So that's why I got to give it to Vance Joseph. Honestly, if Seattle Seahawks DC was on this list, I probably would have picked him. But Vance Joseph, man, that defense has been carrying Denver all year, and it looks like they're about to do it again against the Patriots because, man, they are just disgusting from safety to corners to linebackers to the defensive line. Man, they are awesome.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan. You just was mentioning it a little bit ago too. Was Vance Joseph was the DC whenever they got that huge blowout in Miami?
Yep.
Wow, I did not realize that was Vance Joseph. I didn't realize. I remember the game. I just didn't realize that was Vance Joseph as well. You're right. He's made a hell of a turnaround since that point.
Yeah. Talk radio was really fun that Monday. And I was like, because I think in that game, Miami, they were gonna go for a field goal and then they just decided to kneel it or something. I'm like, no, go for the record. We want you to get the record on this.
Yep. They did.
And
all right, well, we gotta keep it moving here. We gotta next one up is comeback player of the year. And, this one is definitely kind of interesting here. We got Stephon Diggs, Aiden Hutchinson, Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, and Dak Prescott. BC, lead the way, my friend.
Oh, another stacked group. I will say, I'm gonna whittle it down and try to do the best I can. I'm gonna have it offense versus defense. Aiden Hutchinson and Christian McCaffrey to me are the top two standouts in this one. McCaffrey stats are good. 1,200 yards, 10 tutties. That's great. But I think what Aiden Hutchinson was able to do as a game wrecker on the defensive side of the ball, coming back after a pretty bad injury and putting up 14 and a half sacks. What?
Bad. That shit was horrible. God damn. Bro, his leg broken too.
I'm just putting it mildly, man. I'm trying to be a little the opposite of hyperbolic. Unhyperbolic there. But to come back from that horrible of an injury though, and to be able to put up 14 and a half sacks the way he did and show that he is the dominant edge rusher in his division, and to just remind everybody of who he is. He is Detroit Rock City. He is the heartbeat of that Lions defense. I just think, again, no disrespect to everybody else. Everybody else had a very impressive seasons for sure, but to me, I will always say defense wins championships, and I think Aiden Hutchinson just had a better season than everybody on this list by far.
I'm going to go Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey is he's pretty much everything to the San Francisco 49ers. I thought it was pretty smart what you were saying earlier, right, about how, if McCaffrey's not hurt, the rest of the team is. And that's been this year. I mean, McCaffrey has legitimately done everything for that team and kept them afloat. So I would love Aiden Hutchinson as well, but I got to go CMC, man. He has just been outstanding receiving and just running. I got to go CMC on this one.
I'm going to piggyback off you there. I think it's CMC. Just the fact that he was able to stay healthy an entire season. I kept waiting every single week for that update on Wednesday and Thursday going, he's not feeling too hot. So here it is. He's out for the next month or so. Just the fact that he was able to stay healthy all year. And like you said, he was the heartbeat, and he was a major reason why they made it as far as they did.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Aiden Hutchinson as well, man. I think just having that gruesome leg injury, man, you really think a player won't come back from that? You think a lot of players would literally just end their career right there, the way that his leg broke and the stuff that he has to wear on that leg right now. To come back, like BC said, be the heart of that Lions defense, 14 and a half sacks, man. Yo, I know that defense was not up to par. Like they were just decent all across the board. One of the reasons why they didn't even make the playoffs. But dude, to do what he did after that injury, man, to me is just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shout out to all these guys for having to come back, because what they all have come back from, and to play at an elite level still, and to be, even back in the NFL, be back in NFL shape. Half the 98% of the people in the world can't do what they do. So shout out to all these guys from me to make it back and to actually be, elite again. All right, so we were just talking about it a minute ago. We got defense, man, the defensive player of the year here. We got Will Anderson Jr., Nick Bonito, Myles Garrett, Aiden Hutchinson as well, and Micah Parsons.
I think there's unanimous vote, right? I think there's unanimous, right? It has to be unanimous. Much time, right?
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. One of these players is the single season sack leader all time now. Everyone else is not. David Warner. Myles
So
Garrett.
I think everybody
Myles
agrees. We can all say at the same
Myles Garrett.
time it's Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Like Myles Garrett, man. Good job.
Easy
All right, so
peasy.
we all agree on that one. I think this one is pretty much a shot in the bag. Anybody want to take a shot at who maybe came in second though? And I would think maybe Will Anderson.
Will Anderson.
Will
Yeah.
Anderson's pretty good. Yeah.
You know
I mean,
what it
I'm
is?
biased because I got Benito, but I got a Casa Benito shirt
Bedino was
downstairs.
good too. Bedino was good
Bedino was
too.
great.
But,
Yeah.
but
Bedino was great.
Will Anderson, bro, that guy looks like a safety
He does.
with a linebacker body. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely insane. All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue on from going from one side to the other, and we're going to make this now the offensive player of the year. Some amazing players in this one here, man. Chris McCaffrey, Drake May, Puka Nacua, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. BC, what a freaking year this has all been for all of these gentlemen up here. Who you picking?
To me, it's between Puka Nacua and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Again, everybody is going to probably crucify me for not picking Christian McCaffrey for something, but I love the work that both of those guys did. Both of them 1,700 plus receiving yards. I will say I do think I'm going to give the nod to Njigba just a little bit more just because of who the quarterbacks are. No disrespect to Sam Darnold, but Matthew Stafford's just played out of his mind this year, and he's shown that he is one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in the league. So to be able to have that as the guy you're throwing it to versus Sam Darnold, who is good, but not great. That to me is the separating factor. So I'm gonna give some love to Seattle finally. So all the Seahawks fans, y'all can hop off a little bit, and I'm gonna give the Offensive Player of the Year award to Jackson Smith and Jigba. Best name too.
I swear, I'm still the only Sam Darnold fan on this damn show. I swear to God. Anyways, I'm going to go with JSN. I'm sticking with it,
I
man.
give him respect. I give him
I think
respect, though.
Darnold
He
was all
proved
right,
me
man.
wrong.
You guys got to leave Darnold
Yeah.
alone, man. He stopped seeing ghosts, man. He went to the Ghostbusters.
We'll see what happens on Sunday. We'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
we'll
we'll
see.
see.
Maybe he'll make me eat my words.
We'll see.
That might be a good segment right there for our What the L segment we got, you know? So,
Oh gosh.
I will say
No.
that I like Sam Darnold. Anyways, having said that, I think you're completely right, but I'm going to go ahead and give this one to JSN as well. JSN just took a gigantic leap. Puka Nacua has been great for the last couple of years. We all knew that. But Jackson Smith and Jigba, once they made that trade and got rid of DK Metcalf, he was the focal point of the offense and absolutely put on a clinic the entire season. It's almost like you could double, triple team the guy, and you're still going to find a way to get him open. Partially because Sam Darnold threw the ball pretty good, but that's beyond the point. Anyways, no, I'm going to take Jackson Smith and Jigba for my Offensive Player of the Year. Mr. Ryan.
I'm going to do the same, but I will argue with you. Puka Nacua is pretty damn fun to say too. Okay,
That is fun.
he's got a fun name too. I actually watched
Mm-hmm.
more of Puka. But yeah, I think you guys hit it. The expectations were there. He was exactly who we thought he was going to be, maybe a tad better. JSN, man, he just, you lose DK Metcalf. I mean, that's a lot to put on your shoulders for a younger dude. And then obviously Sam Darnold, I do also think he's better than anyone gives him credit for. He keeps proving it. But yeah, obviously Stafford is heads and shoulders above him. So yeah, JSN, he definitely carried the load more this year. So yeah, he'll take my vote as well.
Jason's not a big dude either. So that was why I was really impressive as well. Is that like he's
$1.95.
obviously NFL big, but I mean like for like standard, he's not that big of a guy. So like it was impressive as well to see what he did. G Mike.
I gotta go CMC, man. I mean, dude, all that Niners offense were injured most of the year, bro. You didn't have Brock Purdy. Jawan Jennings was in and out in the beginning. Obviously, he stayed healthy at the end. Kendrick Bourne was the wide receiver 2 there. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk hasn't played a touch of football this whole season. George Kittle was in and out of the depth chart as well. And then McCaffrey almost going for 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards again, with the fact that other defenses' full focus is on CMC, and he's still doing what it does. Imagine if he had his other teammates there healthy. Imagine what he could do. It's like, to me, it's so impressive.
Totally agree. CMC can't go wrong on that one as well. All right, so we're going to go to the other side of the ball, and we're getting to the big ones here. We got the Defensive Rookie of the Year. All right, so we got Abdul Carter, Nick Amorori, that was hard, James Pierce Jr., Carson Swearinger, and Xavier Watts. BC.
I could go with the guy that's got the most sacks in James Pierce Jr. of this list. I could go with the guy that's got the most picks with Xavier Watts. I'm going to go with a guy that does a little bit of everything and just dominated with how much he was from sideline to sideline on the field. Carson Schlesinger. 140 plus tackles, multiple sacks, multiple picks, multiple passes defended. Second round choice, though, too, coming out. He was not a first round selection for middle linebacker. There's guys like Jahad Campbell that were selected before him. And he just, again, there's not a lot to write home about with Cleveland this year, aside from Myles Garrett and him. So it's interesting to see that how bad the Browns are as a team, and yet in my book, they're taking home defensive player and defensive rookie of the year. I think Schlesinger just really helped add something to that level, just his do-it-all ability at middle linebacker. Probably I would say the best linebacker in the last couple drafts.
That's a fantastic pick. I'm actually going to go Watts on this one from the Falcons. I was impressed with all the interceptions, especially coming in as a rookie. Did a lot of big things, but I think you're completely right. Carson had one hell of a year, and that would create another one of those what the L things we had going on because I picked Mason Graham to be the defensive rookie of the year. And yeah, see how that turned out. Ryan, what you got, man?
I'm narrowing this down to the people on this list with pictures that look like they could murder me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, being a horror podcast, that's what I'm going to go with. I honestly did not spend a ton of time on rookies this year, unless we directly played them. We directly played this guy. I'm going Abdul Carter. I thought there was a point in this season where the Giants, they were right on that fringe. They could have been one of those teams, the younger teams that were making a push. Obviously, it didn't go that way, but they were making the right moves. And I think it all started on defense. Obviously, you got the psychos, Jackson Dart and Scattaboo on the other side. But I'm going Abdul Carter on this one.
I just want to mention for what the L, I picked Abdul Carter in the beginning. I just want you guys to know that.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm not going to pick him because I think Carson had a way better season than he did. Now, the attention that Abdul Carter got all season was pretty amazing because he got his other teammates on the defensive line to get, more stats to their stat sheets. But the way that Carson was just playing, man, he was doing it all. He looked like a Swiss Army knife out there. I got to go Carson.
Yep.
Yeah, not bad picks at all, and the future is very bright for all of these guys. So let's jump on the other side of the ball, and we have the offensive rookie of the year. Jackson Dart, as we just mentioned, Emeka Mbuka. If that's or do we need to check with Rod Gronkowski? Is that how you're supposed to say it, or not Emeka Mbuka? You guys see that video, correct?
Oh gosh, I have not.
Oh man, that was so great. So I always feel like you almost have to bring that up anytime you bring his name up. Anyways, I divert. Jackson Dart, Emeka Mbuka, Trevion Henderson, Tetairoa McMillan, and Tyler Shuck. BC, lead us off.
Oh, it pains me to say it, not just because it's in the same division, but also because my boy is also up for grabs. But I gotta keep it a buck. I gotta keep it straight. Ted McMillan was that dude this year in Carolina. Like he did not fall off. He was definitely the more consistent of the two. Shout out to Book for dominating that first half, but you got to play the whole season, man. You can't just play half a year and expect to get the award. And Tet did that. So I got 1,000 yards, 7 TDs, incredible start. Did a great job in getting Carolina to the postseason and scaring Los Angeles too, and giving them a scare in the first round. So I gotta give some love to Tet up in Charlotte.
Respect.
Yeah,
respect.
I'm gonna piggyback off you on there and go with Tet as well. I'm kind of surprised that Jackson Dart made this list, to be honest with you. I think that his namesake was more what it was. I mean, what he only played like 5 games or something, 6 games. Granted, they were exciting games, but I didn't think he qualified for that. Tyler Shuck actually at the end was balling. Like, dude seems like New Orleans might have actually found something there. We'll see how it goes in the next season. He was impressive for when he actually got the start and took over and got comfortable. But yeah, I'm going to go with Tet on this one as well.
I am also going Tet. Like BC said, it's a full season award. Egbuka, he first half of the season, he gets it. Second half, Shuck. But all around, it's Tet. Obviously Henderson had a great year as well. I agree with you. I'm not sure if there just wasn't a better nominee than Dart. They needed a 5th one, so they threw him in there. But
that one was surprising to me.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely got to go with Tet as well. He was the most consistent all year round. I mean, Buka started off the year great, fell off. Trevion Henderson didn't start off the year great, started to pick it up. Same thing with Tyler at the end. I think if Jackson would have had Neighbors and Cam Scatterboot the whole year, he probably would have won this, honestly. Maybe that's why they threw him in there. I'm not going to lie. But Tet McMillan, he was the most consistent one. Got to go.
Man, we all chose the same guy. That's usually trouble. I don't know, man. That's usually not too good for them or something. But we'll see, man. But I think this has been an awesome year for these rookies, and I think that all these guys have a good chance. And I think honestly, if Henderson would have gotten the start from the start, he probably could have made a hell of a case as well. But the fact that they kind of worked him in until later on, it played itself out. All right, well, we're on to the big one, man, the biggest one of the night. We have the MVP. We got Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Drake May, Chris McCaffrey, and Matthew Stafford. BC, I mean, it's a quarterback-driven league, I guess. I mean, there's no other players that are that important, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Make this QB of the year. Stop making it MVP. Like, come on, bro.
I mean, for me, it's a three-man race between Stafford, May, and Allen. And of all these three guys, you know, like you can give the efficiency stats to Drake May. Sure, he's got the completion percentage. That's cool. He's got the QB rating and stuff. That's great. Josh Allen's got the rushing touchdowns and the rushing yards. Awesome. But as far as being, you know, elite pocket passer, as far as being like getting the most touchdowns, not just passing, but passing plus rushing, if you want to do that, Matt Stafford. Touchdown interception ratio 46-8. Stafford leads that one, every one of those guys by far, and then also to the most passing yards out of the three candidates as well, 4,700. This, I think, honestly, if this is Matthew Stafford's last year, he could not have written a better magnum opus. And I think, regardless of what happens in the playoffs over this weekend, I think he deserves the MVP. He's put in such a great career of work, and I think to cap off his career with an MVP award, I think that just solidifies him as a Hall of Famer at that point.
Austin, I appreciate you checking in because that was the exact words I was about to say. That it's the fact that Myles Garrett wasn't even nominated.
True.
That's the whole point of what I was saying. Is that I guess this is just QBs that learn to play football. I completely agree with you. I think Myles Garrett should have been up there. It was also the same thing was whenever J.J. Watt had that one year that he was pretty much playing tight end and defensive end at the same time, you know. So I completely agree. And I agree with you, G. Mike, as well. They need to either make a separate best QB award because there's a lot of guys that are out there that I think were more important to the teams than only these guys up here, you know. Since we only got these guys we can pick from, I think you can make a case for Josh Allen. That team was not that great. They did have a good running game. I'm going to lean towards Christian McCaffrey in this just because of what we stated earlier was that the dude was pretty much the entire team. And I know Bills fans will say the same thing, that Josh Allen pretty much was the entire team. And I think completely agree with you. But James Cook had a pretty good season as well. Christian McCaffrey was damn near doing this by himself with Mac Jones. Brock Purdy ended up coming back. They lost their offensive line guys. They had no pretty much wide receiver help. Ricky Pearsall was always hurt. Juwan Jennings was in and out. Kittle got hurt. So I got to go, I think, with who really, I think, put this on his back, and Christian McCaffrey. I know he's not going to win it just because it can't not go to a QB. But I'm going to go Christian McCaffrey.
And I'm going to go Stafford, mainly because in the preseason, I don't know if you guys remember, but the joke going around was like, is he alive? Like, has anyone seen him? Where is he?
He was a corpse on epidurals, pretty much.
Yeah. So I thought he was going to come into this year and, you know, he'd string a few good games together and then, you know, father time catches up to all. And then the way he started slinging it early, kept it going. He only had a couple hiccups. He had a couple really bad games in there. But I think if you go with the true most valuable, you know, wording, then it probably goes to McCaffrey because but that's not what it is. That's never how it's been voted. That's never how it will be voted. Stafford's going to get it just because he had Star Wars numbers this year. He was absolutely insane.
I will say, I know Chris Collinsworth always loves to glaze Patrick Mahomes with his comments, like, you know, that's very Mahomesy or whatever. But this season by Stafford just reminds me, like, it's very Brady-esque, you know, like you think he's done, you think he's dead, and then he goes and just pulls this out of his backside. Like, what a great year.
Yeah, man, he was 300 yards away from throwing 5K. He threw 33 TDs. He got Devontae Adams, who looked like was going to be shunned out the league because of what he did with the New York Jets, came to the Rams, and he led the league in receiving touchdowns. The Rams are about to play in the NFC Championship game, and in my opinion, they're going to the Super Bowl. I don't know, man. MVP Matthew Stafford. And hot take, conspiracy hot take. Ready?
Yep.
Players are going to start taking epidurals every preseason now. You're going to see one or two that are going to start taking epidurals. Watch.
I could see that. I mean, if you're telling me all I need is an epidural, and I'm going to set my career record for passing yards at 37, like
I'll take 2. Yeah.
Yeah, give me 3.
Who'd have thunk that's all it took was just getting an epidural to go play NFL football, you know?
Oh,
damn, we should have thought of it earlier.
I know, seriously. All right, guys, so we got one more segment, and it is a doozy for sure. We have some big fight night coming up, so let's go ahead and jump into it.
It's time for Fight Night from the stands.
All right, and it is just as a reminder, if you have not heard or not know, it is on Paramount Plus now finally, which is such a welcoming thing for fight fans. I think this is going to be a brilliant thing and an awesome idea for UFC. And also, just as a programming note, it does come on an hour early, which is even nicer for the fans out there. So we've got a 9:00 start for the pay-per-views going forward. I think this is going to be absolutely insane and awesome. There's so many stacked fights on here, so we're mainly going to talk about the two main. It was going to be a little bit different, obviously, with Harrison getting hurt, so that one's going to get debunked. But so we got two main on there. If any of you guys want to bring up any of the other fights, it's on there because there are so many good ones. By all means, we're going to go ahead and mainly focus on the main two on here, and we're going to go ahead and start with the co-main. And that one is going to be awesome this year, man. I'm super excited about it. You got Sugar Shane O'Malley coming in there and taking on Song Yadong, man. And it's going to be an interesting fight here, man. Striking at the yin-yang. This one's going to be awesome to see. And this almost could have been, if the Nunes fight wasn't so big, this easily could have even been the headlining fight, to be honest with you. I think both guys are going to come in and put on a show. BC, how are you feeling about this one, man? Buckle your seatbelt.
No, I love it. Like Sugar Sean O'Malley is a human highlight reel when it comes to striking. And then Song Yadong is an Iron Man, really good at going the distance coast to coast in fights. I am definitely interested in seeing, can Sean like close the fight early, or are we going to see this one go the distance by decision? And I can't wait. This is going to be some offensive fireworks for sure.
Thanks.
Brian, what's your thoughts, buddy, man? This is going to be one hell of a fun fight.
You never go against a guy with purple hair. That's just a rule of thumb.
Sugar has a nickname.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just the styles here, especially, I always lean more towards O'Malley. Like I said, he's just so unique, so lanky, just, like you said, human highlight reel. He, but yeah, does have to finish it early. You go to a decision with anything, it could be, there's a discrepancy. You don't want to leave it up to that. I think he gets, not the first round, maybe early second round. I think he takes it out.
Yeah, I gotta go O'Malley too. I think the fact that he's a switch fighter and the fact that he has more of a reach is gonna be more to his advantage. Even though I think both fighters they kind of equal themselves out. They're kind of the same fighting type. They're good at takedowns. They're good at striking. I just see O'Malley with the type of experiences he has as being a champion and being patient with his switch and his reach. I think he's gonna take this one.
So I'm going to go the opposite, man. I'm going to not take O'Malley in this one. And the reason I'm not is because I do think it's going to last a lot longer. I think that both guys are able to take a punch. And I think that's going to favor Yadong in this one as well going forward. I think both guys are electric fighters, and it's going to be one hell of a fight. But I just think O'Malley is going to have to really come with his A game in this one, I believe, because I think that the last couple of fights he's gotten through, he's looked pretty good, but it's not definitely a lack of confidence. That dude is ultra confident for sure. But I'm going to go ahead and be the odd one out, and I'm not taking O'Malley in this one. I think O'Malley needs this one more just to keep his name at the top. So that's going to be another motivational factor for him. But I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like it might be a slight upset because I'm almost positive that he's the favorite in the fight is O'Malley in this one.
I'm going O'Malley all the way.
I cannot wait for the fight, though. I think it's going to be one hell of an electric fight, man. It's going to be awesome. So there's also the big one of the night, man, the main event. This one is going to be one hell of a fight here. And I know, Ryan, you were excited about this one. It's Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimbleton, man. You were telling me we were talking. I didn't realize Gaethje's from your area, you were saying?
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. He live in the Aurora area. He also did some stuff in northern Colorado. So I personally don't know him. I know people that know him. So that's just, hey, I know this person that knows this person. So I've always pulled for him. Obviously, he's had some big name fights in his career. But what stands out to me is you have two fighters with they have so much swagger. They're so damn confident. And when I'm trying to break this down, my heart 1,000% says Gaethje. My head 1,000% says Paddy. So, but I'm an optimistic guy. I know the line isn't great for Gaethje here. So I'm gonna go with my heart, though. I'm gonna say Gaethje. Anything can happen, but if I'm actually putting money down on it, then it's Paddy.
G Mike, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I am actually putting money down, and I am going with Paddy, baby. The young, talented, and when you got a striker going up against a wrestler like that, man, I can never go against a wrestler, bro. I think it's gonna be he's gonna have at least 2 or 3 takedowns on Gaethje. He's gonna end up winning in submission, maybe by like the 4th round. And Paddy's just an up and comer, man. Gaethje is awesome, BMF for a reason, but I gotta take Paddy on this one.
Yep. Yeah,
BC,
I agree.
what's your thoughts, buddy?
No, I was just going to say I agree. I think at this point, though, too, the stage of his career that Gaethje's in, I think this is just one of those moments where just Paddy continues his rise to the top, and I think he goes through a battle-tested, vaunted competitor, contender, and veteran in Gaethje, and I do agree with you, Mike. I think we're going to see this one end via submission. I feel like it might go. I think I'll say it ends maybe around earlier in the 3rd. But I do think that Paddy's gonna walk out on top on this one.
Yeah, I'm going with Paddy as well, and it's nothing against Gaethje by any stretch at all, because Gaethje, I think we had the moniker whatever, he's your favorite fighter or something along those lines. Having said that, I think that Paddy is just on a trajectory to the top of the UFC right now, and I know Dana White would love it because he's very charismatic and he's like basically a newer Conor McGregor, if you will. But I think they go about it a lot differently than him and Conor does. Having said that, I think that his wrestling is going to come into a big play into this fight, and I got to go with Paddy the Baddy in this one. I think it's his time to shine, and I think that it's his time. Without better words, it's his time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Phyllis. Well, that is going to be one electric fight. Is there any other fights out of those that you guys want to mention? Talk about anything?
I am very excited for the heavyweight bout that's going to be coming on, I think, like right before the co-main event. Waldo Cortez Acosta and goated UFC interview Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis always the man.
My ball was hot, man. It will forever in memory with that interview right there. And what a career though too he's had. Like 40 years old, man. He's still doing his thing at this stage, and I know he's going up against a younger fighter and Cortez Acosta, but I don't know, man. Just something in me just thinks that he's gonna pull out another win, a veteran win somehow, maybe like slip in a punch there, just catches him off guard, and I feel like he's just gonna pull it out, and it's just gonna be another great interview. I cannot wait for that post-fight interview, win or lose.
Well, I think he was like plus 200. So in my mind, I'm like, that's free money. Give me that. Give me that all day long.
Plus 250.
Oh, plus 250. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Another good fight is going to be Hoyek and Freeman. Hoyek is 7-0 and Freeman is 7-1. That's the second fight of the pay-per-view heavyweight. Both 6'1". Hoyek 234 pounds. Freeman 257 pounds. But Hoyek is 6 years younger. But he has a takedown tenacity, while Freeman is just basically a striker. So I don't know. He might stay undefeated.
Yeah, no, I like the female fight too. You got Thug Rose. She's always puts on a hell of a show. I think she needs a good victory. She's fallen kind of down out of the ranks as in the last couple fights. So I think she needs this one as well. Silva's going to be a hell of a fight too, and that Silva versus Arnold. Put your seatbelt on for that one as well. That one's going to be a hell of a fight.
Oh,
this whole thing This whole card is just completely stacked as well. Big news coming out though that came out. They have the guy that did pass out. I can't remember his name. That fight got canceled. But as well as Figueroa, he missed weight by 2.5 pounds.
Cameron Smotherman was our unfortunate fella.
Yep, and Davison Figueroa was over 2.5 pounds. So I am not exactly sure if they're going to, cancel the fight or anything like that, or there's going to have to fight it like a catchweight or something along those lines. But having said that, man, it's been one hell of a pay-per-view, and we are extremely excited to watch it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up tonight for Views from the Stands. We want to give a special Views from the Stands thank you to Ryan for coming on the show. Awesome experience. We had a lot of people commenting everything. We had another one out here. Austin, thanks for checking in. You were checking in the whole show, so we appreciate that as well. Ryan, man, let the people know before you take off where to find you, what you have going on, what's coming up.
Well, guys, you can find us. We're the Roasted Snow Horror Show. Anywhere you get your podcasts. We came up with that title. My last name, my co-host's last name is Snow. We counteract each other. We do a lot of debates, kind of like this show. You can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. We do 2 shows a week. Like I was saying, Wednesday, kind of a catch-all. Anything we want to talk about horror-wise. And then Fridays, we do a kind of rolling champion for a new release. So this week's released today, we got 28 years later, the Bone Temple. That's going up against my previous champ, which was Primate, and actually it was Chris's as well. We had a unanimous champ. We don't agree like ever, but that movie we did. So check us out. See if 28 years later the Bone Temple kind of dethrones Primate. But yeah, we keep it. I mean, it's an unscripted show. We do anything and everything that we can think of. We go off topic. We're just 2 guys talking horror movies. And if you need suggestions, we're always ready to hear that. Find us at roastedsnowhorror@gmail.com. We love any suggestions. So I can't appreciate you guys enough for having me on. I love talking sports with you guys. That was awesome.
Yeah. I will say before you go as well, you guys have probably gotten this one out the wazoo, but since you guys talked about debates, man, I got to ask the age-old question, Freddie or Jason? Who we got?
So I've always been a Jason guy because I'm a hockey guy, but since I've gotten older, I've appreciated Freddie more. Maybe it's because he actually talks and is funny, so I'm going Freddie.
Yeah. Debate it in the comments. Let's do it.
Yep.
Dialogue, baby. You need the dialogue. You need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
G-Mike, man, we're closing up. You got anything for the people or anything, my friend?
No, guys, just please like, subscribe, share the show with your family, friends, strangers, anybody you're going to the games with, people to the side of you, let them know. View from the Stands is a sports talk show on YouTube and all podcast platforms that you love to enjoy to listen to or watch, baby. We appreciate the support. Keep rocking.
Yep.
Absolutely, guys. Stay safe out there. It's coming up in the weekend, so you got a lot of good stuff coming up this week. You got championship games, you got UFC, and just as a programming note, next Saturday as well, another UFC pay-per-view. They're doing back-to-back pay-per-views, so that's going to be another little fun topic to talk about as well. Tuesday, we're going to be live again and talking about championship weekend for sure, so tune in. Ryan, you guys are more welcome to come on the show anytime you want. Really appreciate you coming on, and we are out of here, guys. Be safe. Have a great night.